I never thought I would feel so alone in a marriage. 4 years, my husband, David, had been my rock, caring, attentive, and affectionate. We shared dreams, built a home together, and promised to face life side by side. But everything changed the night I discovered his betrayal. It wasn't a dramatic confrontation. I found messages on his phone, hidden conversations with someone I didn't know. At first, I couldn't breathe. My heart pounded, my hands shook, and the world seemed to tilt. I confronted him, expecting excuses, lies, maybe even anger. Instead, he admitted it quietly, almost mechanically, and apologized without tears or remorse. I tried to move past it, tried to convince myself that our love was stronger than a mistake. But David changed that night. The warmth in his eyes vanished, replaced by a cold distance I couldn't reach. He stopped speaking to me like he once had, stopped sharing his thoughts, his dreams, even his daily life. Silence became our new normal. Days turned into weeks, and the silence stretched like a chasm between us. I tried everything to bridge it: conversations, dates, shared activities, heartfelt letters. But every effort was met with quiet avoidance. I felt like I was losing him piece by piece, and with each passing day, the man I loved became a stranger. Friends offered advice, family tried to comfort me, but no words could fix what was broken. I felt shattered, walking through our home like a ghost, seeing him in the same space yet unreachable, like staring at a familiar face through glass. I questioned everything: my worth, our love, whether we could ever be whole again. One night, I sat alone in the living room, tears streaming down my face. The house was silent, but the emptiness screamed. I realized that forgiveness alone couldn't heal this. Trust couldn't be rebuilt without effort from both sides. And while I had forgiven him in my heart, his withdrawal told me that the person I had trusted and loved was no longer there. It was then that I made a decision. I couldn't keep waiting for him to return to me emotionally. I couldn't let his silence define my life. I began focusing on myself, rediscovering passions I had neglected, reconnecting with friends, and finding moments of joy that didn't depend on him. I started writing, traveling, and building a life that could exist independently of his presence. Slowly, something remarkable happened. As I grew stronger, I noticed a shift in him as well. David's distance, while still present, became less suffocating. We began speaking in small ways, tentative conversations that weren't forced but genuine. He started sharing snippets of his day, his thoughts, and I realized that while betrayal had changed us, it hadn't completely destroyed what we had built. Months passed, and we found a new rhythm. The love we shared was no longer naive or unquestioned. It was honest, cautious, but stronger because we had faced the abyss together. I understood that change isn't always about punishment or revenge. Sometimes it's about endurance, patience, and the courage to rebuild after heartbreak. In the end, I realized that the betrayal didn't define our marriage, our response did. His silence had broken me, yes, but it also forced me to confront my own strength, resilience, and capacity for love. I learned that relationships are not just about passion or trust, but about the ability to endure, to forgive, and to grow together, even after the darkest moments. Now, when I look at David, I see a man transformed. Not perfect, not unscarred, but present and committed in a way that feels earned. Our love isn't the same as it once was. It's deeper, tempered by pain, and built on a foundation of honesty and hard-won understanding. And while the memory of betrayal still lingers, it no longer controls us. We had both changed, but in that change, we found something more profound than we had ever known. A love resilient enough to survive betrayal, strong enough to endure silence, and gentle enough to forgive while still honoring oneself. And in that realization, I found peace, strength, and hope for the future we would face together, hand in hand, fully aware of the scars but choosing to move forward anyway.